Okay, a couple examples we're going to go through today is these elements are getting a little bigger that we're going to deal with. So we're going to do element number 20, which you can see is calcium. So it's got 20 protons, 20 electrons, and oddly enough, it's one of those that would fall into the category of having an atomic mass of 40, so it would also have 20 neutrons then. Okay, so what we want to do is make sure that you have your periodic table, and if you have those numbers of the periods written on both sides, that's going to help you out a lot. Okay, so for the first element, calcium, a couple predictions that we can make. We're going to see the number 4 and the number 2 come up. Okay, so what that means is as we start this, okay, we got 20 protons in the nucleus. Okay, follow our slide rule. The big number 1 is saying, okay, first energy level. S block, which can hold 2. Remember, all these numbers have to add up to 20. So we got 18 to go. Go to the top of the next slide. What's this telling you? A big number 2 is saying, okay, the second energy level, okay, the S block, which holds 2. Remember, these all hold 2, these all hold 6, these all hold 10, and them two can hold 14. It's what they can hold. It doesn't mean you're going to put all of them in there. Okay, we go to the top of the next slide. The big number 2 is telling you we are still in the second energy level, and we can put 6 in there, and we're going to put all 6, because remember, these all have to add up to 20. We're 10 away yet. Keep going down the slide. Okay, this is telling us we need a new energy level, the big number 3. Okay, and if we look at where we're at so far, you can use the periodic table. Once you have a good understanding of this, you might not need to utilize that slide rule anymore. Okay, so 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, so 3s2. So I'm willing to bet that we've got 12 written up there. Okay, 2, 4, 6, and 6 gives us 12, so we are up to magnesium so far. Notice we need to get down here to calcium. So we go to the other side, okay? So we're here, we did 3s2, climb to the top of the next slide. We're still in that third energy level. We know that because that's what the big 3 is telling us. The P block can hold 6, so we're going to put all 6 of them in there because these have to add up to 20. Okay, so 6 and 12, that gives us 18. So that means we need 2 more. So remember, we're still in the third energy level. We're all the way over here to argon. We're at 18. The atomic number for argon is 18. Following our slide, as we go further down, this big number 4 is telling you we need to make a new energy level. Here it is, and we're going to put 2 of them in there. Now when we add all them numbers together, we get 20. So we're going to want to stop there. So our 2 predictions that we're going to make is we're going to see the number 4, which we did. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to see the number 2. And there it is, number 2 there. All right, so let's go a little further. And one of the things that you can do, and this only works with elements that are in the S block and the P block. It does not work for D and F block elements. I would suggest you don't rely on that until you get a really, really good understanding of how this table is arranged. Okay, don't make these predictions without a little help, or only if it's an S or a P block element. Okay, so we're going to see these 3 numbers in common for arsenic. 33 protons, so 33 electrons, and arsenic's atomic mass is about 75. So with that, that's what, 38, I think. Oh, more than that. I say 75. I can't read those numbers, they're so small. Okay. So actually 42 then. 42 would give us 75. 75 neutrons. Okay, so I'm just going to wait just a moment, and you can go ahead and try to get this started, and then I'll go ahead and get this rolling. You can see what you may or may not have done correctly. Okay, so I'll just let the camera roll here for just a moment. And I know the zoology students, they're sitting here watching this, they're soaking this up just like a peripherin. This is where so people know that you're in here. This is where you go, ha, 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 people. Okay, we got one person who's awake. And again, one of the things we keep telling them, and I have told this to these people, I told the seniors earlier, if you're struggling with this, they are more, I'd like to think that they're more than willing to help you if you politely ask, can you please help me? And I'm sure that they will. So looking, does this ring a bell? Now. Okay, anybody else? I hear one yes. Okay, so some of you will remember this. Even some of the zoology students, I'm sure, would be willing to help you if you just said, can you please help me? Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's see how these three numbers may be utilized. Okay, I left this up here because these are always going to follow a periodic fashion where a lot of these are going to look pretty similar. It's just that the numbers are going to change with how many. All right. So let's go ahead and start with 33 protons in the nucleus. Okay. Follow our slide. First energy level, 2. Big number 2, new energy level. Remember, all of these numbers have to add up to 33. Okay. So notice this is starting to look kind of similar to what we did up there. So second energy level, P block, it can hold 6. We're going to put all 6 of them in there. We're up to neon, or 10. Okay? Following our slide, this says, okay, we need to go down, or up to the third energy level. I meant to say up, excuse me. So 3s2. Okay? This is saying we're still in the third energy level, the P block, which can hold 6. Let's put all 6 of them in there. Notice we see some similarities so far. Okay. Now, one of the things we see, keep going down your slide. This is saying, okay, we need to put the fourth energy level on there. There it is, 4s2. This is where it gets to be a little tricky, but this is how the slide rule helps you. Okay, you go to the top of the next slide, it's saying we need to go back down to the D block, or excuse me, the third energy level. How do we know that? That is telling us right here, and keep in mind, how many can the D block hold? Well, there's 10 of them in here, okay? And notice, we need to put all 10 of them in there because we are only up to 20, okay? How do we know? 2, 4, 6, 8, and 12 gives you 20. So these are the same right now. Okay? But what this is telling us, go back down to the third energy level and put all 10 of them in there. 3d10. Okay? So we're going to go back to the fourth energy level. Now the P block only. In this P block, what column is arsenic in? Okay? I want you to think about that for a moment. And if you would say 3, that would be correct. And this is why. Okay? Let's find where arsenic is. Okay? Here's our P block. 1, 2, 3. Right there's arsenic in that third column. So let's look at our predictions. We said we're going to see 4, 3, and 5. Okay, here's where the 4 comes from. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's our 4. We said we were going to see the number 3. All right, well, there's number 3, because it's in the third column of the P block. We also said we're going to see number 5. Well, when we add these two together, arsenic is in the 5th column of this entire period. Notice we said the 3rd column of this P block, but for the entire period, remember we skip over these, the entire period, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that's where the 5 comes from. All right, so hopefully you find that helpful, and we will address this again in class, so we'll catch up to you next time.